Hello everyone, FedEx Gaming here, and welcome back to another redstone tutorial. In this video, I'll be showing how to build an ice farm. Now, this ice farm works the exact same way as my sugarcane farm and my automatic melon/pumpkin farm, in that it uses the same exact bud switch. I just changed it around a little bit for it to work with ice. Now, the main reason why I always loved this bud switch was mainly because every time something grew right in front of the piston, it would automatically update it and push it out of the way. So as long as the ice block forms in front of the piston, it will automatically push that ice block over and then out into the collection bay. Now, the collection bay to the right of me right here is not my design. This is an older mumbo jumbo design from a way older video that he never did a tutorial on. The only reason why I remember this collection bay is because it is extremely small. I know it doesn't look small, guys, but trust me, the resources on this thing is crazy small. Now, I did have my own design that kind of pushed the ice to the side, but I used a lot more resources on it, so I just rather use something that makes you guys not have to use as many resources as you need. Now, this collection bay can hold up to 1100 ice blocks. However, there's a few flaws with it. One, if it's not fully filled with ice, then mobs can spawn underneath it. So as long as you slab it up underneath the collection bay, you should be absolutely fine from the mobs. Also, if you've worked with ice before, you know ice melts if you put a light source near it. So don't place any glowstone or torches around this farm, or your ice will melt, and then you're gonna have a bad day. You don't want all the ice to melt, because that is a lot of water to clean up. So let's go ahead and start building this thing, guys. So for this build, you're gonna have to build up 5 blocks into the sky, and the dimensions for this build are 19 by 6. Now, the resources you're gonna need for this build are 153 pistons, 15 sticky pistons, 26 repeaters, 98 redstone dust, 1 comparator, 1 redstone torch, 1 furnace, 1 non-stackable item. I'm going to be using wooden shovels, 1 sand block, and some water. Once you have gotten your 19 by 6 spacing, come to the bottom left-hand corner and count over 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. Next, we're going to count up 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to place 15 pistons going towards our right-hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Next, take out some blocks, and we're going to place blocks going around the whole front hand side of our pistons. So just wrap it all the way around the front hand side of your pistons until you get all the way over here to the end. Once you're right here, take out your pistons once again and face a piston going towards the back, and then turn this way and face a piston going towards the front. Next, right behind this piston, place another piston facing upwards with a sand block on top of it. Then right above the piston facing towards the front, we're going to place in our furnace. Go inside your furnace and place in your non-stackable item. Mine is my wooden shovel. Then off the right hand side of the piston where our sand block is, place another block down with a comparator coming out of your sand block. The comparator should come on thanks to the wooden shovel inside your furnace. Next, in front of the comparator, we're going to place in a block, put a piece of redstone dust on top of the block, put a block down to the right hand side of your redstone dust, and put a repeater coming out of this block on 1 tick delay. Next, we're going to put a block right on top of this repeater, a block next to the repeater, and then coming out of this block right here, we're going to put another repeater going this way on 1 tick delay, put a block in front of it, and put a piece of redstone dust on top of the block. Next, come back down here to this 1 tick delay repeater and bring blocks going all the way down to the end of these pistons. So just bring blocks going all the way down to the end of your pistons. And then we're going to put another row of blocks in down right next to your pistons. Then right here off this repeater, we're going to place in redstone dust going this way. But before we do that, put a block in front of this repeater with a redstone torch on top of it. And then from this block, we're going to place in redstone dust going all the way down the entire line of blocks next to these pistons. And then coming out of this redstone dust, we're going to place in repeaters going towards our pistons all on 1 tick delay. Also, make sure to place one right here coming out of this block like so. Next, take out your blocks once again and place them in front of your repeaters going into those pistons. These are going to be the updaters for the piston. So now if we place any block in front of this piston, it will bud switch it. So boop, as you see, it extends up and it retracts back down. So we have our bud switches in, boop, goes up and then goes back down. So now that we know the bud switch is working, all we have to do is bring another line of blocks going around the whole entire outside of these blocks. So go around the whole entire outside like so, and bring it all the way down until you reach the whole entire end. This is where our water is going to be going, and it's going to be creating our ice. So just wrap it all the way down to this furnace. Next, take out your water bucket and we're going to fill in the whole entire outer side with our water bucket. So go around the whole entire outer side with your water. If you're doing this on survival, it's good to make a water source while you're doing this. So there we have it. Now ice is going to start forming right away, so we want to put blocks around the entire outside of where the pistons are, because we do not want ice forming on any of these blocks, because it will ruin our pistons. These will keep going up and down and break them. So take out a line of blocks and just bring it around the whole entire outside of the water around your pistons. Now if you see any ice form right here on any one of these blocks, make sure to break it and put it back in. So make sure there is no ice under any one of these blocks right here except for in front of the pistons. Next, we're going to do is place in our sticky pistons. So go ahead and take out your sticky pistons. I'm going to place pistons facing towards us off the tops of these repeaters. So just bring a line of sticky pistons going all the way down on top of all your repeaters towards the front hand side, and then put a line of blocks in front of your sticky pistons. So we're going to bring these all the way down. Next, right above this off torch, place a block, and then place a line of blocks behind your sticky pistons. So go all the way down, and then we're going to put redstone dust along all of these blocks. And that is it, guys. So once the ice forms, it will get pushed up and then get pushed over thanks to our sticky pistons right here. So if I go ahead and test it out real quick, I'll put an ice block in here, it gets pushed up and then gets pushed over. So as you can see, some of my ice already formed and pushed some of these blocks out. That is absolutely fine. These blocks are not supposed to be here in the first place. The only reason why we placed these blocks in is just so the ice didn't form underneath here, because this is what's keeping our water source active to create all that ice. So if you want to, if you do have a few ice blocks on you, you can go ahead and just trade out all of these blocks right here with ice blocks, because that's what's going to happen later on anyway. But we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and do it right now. If you can't, then you might as well just leave it there, and while the ice builds up, it will get rid of all those blocks anyway. See, it's starting to push it out already. So now that we got our bud switch up and running, we can go ahead and place in our collection bay. Now to place in your collection bay, all you have to do is come off 2 blocks from here, 1, 2, off any one of these. It doesn't really matter. If you still have your normal box, just place it off your normal blocks and place pistons facing downwards like that. We can go ahead and delete these 2 blocks and then go down the whole entire line of ice blocks with your pistons all the way to the end. Just like that, there should be a total of 15 pistons facing downwards. Now we have to do 9 lines of these. So we already did 1 line, so we have to do 8 more lines of pistons. So just take your pistons out and do 8 more lines. I'm going to speed up the video here. And there you guys have it. There is the 9 lines of pistons. So now we're going to come all the way over here to the end of this redstone. We're going to put a block up right in front of this piece of redstone dust, a block over, and put a repeater coming out of that redstone dust on 1 tick delay. Then we're going to come up a block and over. You know, before we do this, guys, just leave it like this with the 1 tick delay repeater. We're going to place in our lines of redstone off the tops of the pistons, because it'll just be a lot easier that way. So place down a line of blocks above every 3rd piston, or I should say every 2nd piston. So every 2nd piston, place in a line of blocks. So we did the 2nd piston. So the 2nd piston, once again, we're going to place a line of blocks. And then we're going to skip over again and place another line of blocks right here. And then we're going to skip over once again and place another line of blocks on the 2nd piston. Then on top of every single one of these blocks, we're going to place in redstone dust. Once you have gotten your redstone dust into place, come out 1 more block from the sides, come out 1 more, and bring it all the way down to the end, and place a block up in front of every single piece of this redstone dust. So 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 more out like this. Next, take out your repeaters and place in a repeater going this way on 1 tick delay in between every single one of your blocks. Now we can hook up this repeater to this repeater right over here. So just bring over your line of blocks from in front of this repeater all the way down to up here, and just hook it up with some redstone dust. So now every time our bud switch updates pushing the ice up, our collection bay will update with it as well. And that is it, guys. You are completely done. I highly recommend slabbing up underneath your collection bay just so creatures don't spawn. However, there's one more thing we need to do. Now, if you're going to leave this thing on forever and you're just going to let the ice build up into one gigantic cube of ice, you are going to need a reset switch. Now, the reason why it needs an update switch is because water cannot turn into ice when there is a block above it. So if this thing gets completely filled up, then it will no longer be able to push the ice over, because there will be a row of ice above this water. That's another thing, guys. Do not put any blocks above the water or ice will never be formed. Water cannot turn into ice when there's a block above it. Not even 1 block. If it's 10 blocks up, guys, it still will not form if there's a block above the water. Just giving you a heads up there. So if you put this in a gigantic building and tell me it's not working, it's because you have a block above the water. So to put in the reset switch is very simple. All we have to do is come right down here, come out a block and over a block like this, and we're going to put 3 repeaters in here. 1, 2, 3. Set them all to 4 ticks delay like that. Put a block right here, Then right behind this vorticulator repeater, we're going to put a piece of redstone dust. Now we're going to need an upside down slab for this part. So delete this block right here, put a slab upside down, place in a piece of redstone dust here, and then hook up this redstone dust like so. And that's going to be our reset switch. This is going to be hooking up into here on 12 ticks delay. And this one's going to be hooking up to here, updating the collection bay before it updates this part. So if ice ever gets filled up here, so if ice ever gets filled in like this, so it can no longer grow. So as you can see, if I put ice right here, it will no longer be able to work. Since there is ice blocks above the water, it can no longer turn into ice. So if we have our reset switch right here, if we just add a quick little button in, let me grab out a button, there it is. And I place a button right off here. So you can also bring it down here if you really want to. But if we click this right here, this will get pushed down and then it'll get pushed out and it will reset it. Now the reset switch is only in case you let this thing become a gigantic cube of ice. If you're going to be using a lot of ice all the time, then you don't have to use a reset switch, but I highly recommend. But there you guys have it. That's how you build my ice farm. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a like and subscribe to stay tuned with my newest videos. All right, guys, peace.